Right. So Shadowmare and crew is actually wrong. All right, so I'm going to change the team names. You introduce the team, sir, because it is well met on the left.
All right, on the left side, we have Well Met. We have Hasuabs, Shadowmar, Sake, Sport Billy, and Servolt. And then in the red, we have next. We have Descape, Victus, Curson, ETF on top.
ETF on
and
top.
then ETF on top. I feel dumb. And then Bims. Oh, jeez, fail. Fail fish.
Where have you been, Bims? Bims on the Tychus. That's super exciting. Both teams are actually going to stick a four-man into either hemisphere at this point. Bims, Curson, Victus, and Top. Not going to catch Hasuabs. No, not today. But at the same time, we're also not going to be catching Descape. Is this going to be... Okay, which team has Sylvanas? All right.
Ooh,
left.
Interesting. You have the dagger cooldown reduced on Sylvanas, and then bribe on the Brightwing.
The bribe is okay. I feel like that's all right. We'll see if the dagger actually works out. Shadowmare over the shoulder from the Diablo, and that's just going to be a very quick kill. We still got that Hydralisk working away on top of the Diablo, but it's not quite going to be enough. We clean up the creep wave, we get a rejuve, and that will be the first blood. Very quick going over the way next. But, what are they going to... Did they get anything extra out of it? Like, there's nobody else in these other lanes.
They have a very slight experience lead, but other than that, things will probably level out and even up here. You can see the tri-lane at bot, although Tychus right now roaming to the mid lane, maybe looking for a gank on that Zagara to prevent the pushing. Diablo charging in, ETF trying to take him down. Bims slowly working away on him. Here comes Brightwing coming in. Will he be enough? Yes, it will. Bims getting the pickup on Zagara. A really nice pick.
So the big danger of picking Zagara early is that you do open yourself up to these kind of combos. She is very immobile. She does not have any escape. She has no CC. She's just a big, good old pushing machine. And if you especially catch her off creep, she is not that fast. So, these kind of pickups, these kind of roams here from Bims. It looks like Bims was coming mid anyways because they're going to put ETF top. Descape does not want to deal here with Sake. But, when you're in Rome, why not go ganking a Panda? And now Sake, he's trying to drink his troubles away, but I'm not entirely too sure he's going to get out of it. But you got that flame, and it's right into his butt.
You have to give it to Descape. He basically sat outside of the fort, backed, baited Chen in, and then right when Chen went in just far enough, ETF charged in and they were able to pick up that kill. That's a really great mind game on him.
Mind games have worked out very well. 3 kills and nil. Servolt is actually going to follow Diablo into the top lane, so could we see another kind of roaming combo here from Bims and crew? If we are, it's going to be delayed a little bit. Sake is showing himself mid, but we got the tribute bottom.
We do. Zagara is not moving. It looks like Diablo and Zagara will stay there. Trying to go against Evolve, though, with a Rehgar and Malfurion in support. You're just going to have the hardest time trying to deal damage. Bim's finally rotating down to try and secure it finally. They're just poking back and forth. Victus taking a little bit of damage, but it is no worries. There's a healing ward down to heal up the entire team. Sake finally coming down. Sport really delaying them. Victus getting a little bit low, taking some damage. Will be back up, though, and you can see just that sustain, the double support from next, able to keep everybody alive and so healthy. Easy tribute capture, and they split back to their lanes and really haven't lost too much experience in the process.
Well, next. Yes.
Well, next.
Now, we do got the melting point there from the Tychus. You saw it working its way on top of these creeps, and he does, you can throw down that melting point, get off a few auto attacks, and run away from the lane. You will still get that experience because you're burning them down. And here's that rotation that we were looking for. ETF is going to be looking for Servolt. Servolt knows exactly that he's coming up here because Sake and that scouting skill. So I'm not entirely too sure they will be able to pick up the Zagara because she knows it's coming and she's just really staying super defensive about it. But what else is going on? We got the bruisers now picked up. Sake is still trying to push around this fight dog, and he's doing it pretty well. And it's still a little bit more of a party lane bottom here for Well Met, and they're going to try to use the Sylvanas passive to push in, get a little bit more of that experience equalization going. But here's the next tribute as well.
Want to point out Chen having swift reflexes. I feel like I rarely see that. A little bit more survivability on his part. Level 7 being hit by Next, but 7 is also shortly followed up by Well Met. Next,
giving it up.
they will be able to pick that up very easily. Well met, just not gonna defend it at all. Instead, keep applying the pressure. They have taken quite a bit. Sake running away. So back to the normal laning. Brightwing goes top, gets the siege capture. Bot lane has lost the wall, but Zagara, her push is pretty strong on the top side.
Yeah, the Zagara push has gone largely unpunished at this point. I mean, Bims is now up here, but Bims is not going to really be able to deal, especially with those Hydralisks going back and forth. And we also have Rapid Incubation at level 7. This is a little bit more of an older talent choice. I mean, right now we see a lot of people actually putting either battle momentum up or the endless creep. But yeah, the Rapid Incubation will keep her very nicely entrenched in her lane. It'll keep that mana going there as well. And we don't have a cleanse from Brightwing. It is Gust of Healing. I don't think we've seen a cleanse from Brightwing at all today in any of our matches.
No, and then also you see Chen with Greavemaster's balance. Really strong, gives him nice sustain and chase potential as well. Jaina going for that Frostbite and getting more damage out there. Everything else is pretty normal. You see Vala going for that Syrian attacks, and Malfurion going for that enduring growth. So, going for even more sustain on the side of next.
Sometimes we see him match it up with Mule instead, but on maps like these, you know, the only one we really see it is Sky Temple. But we did actually see it on Booty Bay a little bit earlier, and just like before, it's actually now going to be an uncontested tribute to the other team, but Saki is going to get thrown into the corner there from ETF on top, but we don't have the full team. They cannot fight this out, and we're so very close to 10. In fact, actually, that feels like a big misplay into the top, because Tychus loses out the duel against Zagara. That's now going to put us in 10, and that is a good time to grab it, especially for this push mid.
Yep, you see the Wailing Arrow coming out, you see Devouring Maw on the Zagara, you see Blink Heal on the Brightwing, but hold that thought. Victus getting very low, the ultimate pop by Jaina, trying to capture him. The Water Elemental is finally taking the damage from the fort. Can he catch him? No, the Water Elemental will finally fall, and Victus will get away, but level 10s have finally been reached for next, and what do they decide to go for? It is that Odin.
It is Odin, yeah. I do feel like the range, the back mentality here. I mean, there's nobody to kind of focus down with the laser because they're all ranged, right? The only one really would be Sake, and Sake can just leap away, can barrel away. He does have the barrel. And I really do think that the Odin is a little bit of a better choice here. The body blocks are real, and now they're going to get that Diablo punished out a little bit. He's way too far forward from his team, but he does get that Ancestral, and we do got the Tranquility now going back and forth, but a really good Maw. That is a fantastic Maw. Do we have the follow-up? The stun coming out with the Rain of Vengeance to keep him at bay, and now ETF is blocking the way. Zagara is going to be the only death in this fight. Some really fantastic heals back and forth, especially from next. I mean, that double support really showed his colors right there.
One thing to note is Sylvanas, through the silence, hit it, and then the Maw went down. So basically, the Maw negated the entire ultimate of Sylvanas. Really nice pickup, though, from next, especially when it started to look pretty poor for them, but then they turned it around really well. Well played, and here comes the 5th tribute. Both teams wanting to get this one. It is both a curse for whoever captures it, so expect a huge engagement here. Diablo running in, Rehgar trying to get there as quickly as possible.
Odin is down for 40 seconds. I still don't know why he doesn't report on the alley obs, but something to do with game files, if I recall. Either way, we only have that Ancestral Healing ready to go. The Lightning Breath is going to be coming back up, and Diablo, oh my goodness, Ancestral is just right there on time. Here goes that Lightning Breath again. You just cannot do anything against that Diablo. We have no Maw ready to go to dunk down that Lightning Breath, and even if that was going to be the case, you're still only using it on that Diablo. So the double sustain is really starting to show once more the livelihood here from next. They are really still able to put up a lot of pressure. Sake's still there in the front. He's going to now try to barrel. If they can take down the Rehgar, that would be a huge detriment here to the team, and they're really trying for it, but it does look like he will live through it, and will be Sylvanas instead as the big focus. The Banelings into the back, and again, the Maw, it throws down the Malfurion, and there goes the Diablo, but he has the soul. He will make his way back here, and it is towards their side on the map. Unfortunately, Vala not going to get that same kind of treatment. However, she is going to be dead for 20 seconds, and I think this is finally going to be a curse to Wellmet.
What a long fight. You can see the sustain, just Brightwing. What Brightwing gives, the Malfurion and the Rehgar. I'm amazed to see Rehgar survive that. He got pushed perfectly by Sake, almost was able to get that kill, but he did survive. But just long enough to kill off everybody else. Really well played. Instead of pushing with this curse, of course, you want to get that boss, get it pushing down in that bot lane. That also opens the window to go for the enemy's boss. Well Met right now is really playing it well.
Because of the staggered nature of the heroics, like, it was just, we basically used them as soon as they came up, but they came so staggered, so it was really hard to kind of tell who had their heroics up, who was still able to just throw down one of those ultimates in the fights. And I think that kind of caught us a little bit more off guard here from Nex. At the same time, we didn't have 13 from either side, so we had no ice block ready for that Malfurion. So when he got dunked down, I mean, then we saw the Diablo, the Rhaegar was already on the run because he's been split from the team because of the barrel of Sake. That's how you got to do it. You got to split up that back line, and I think Hasuops and Crew did it really well right there.
Just hold that thought. It looks like ETF trying to cause a little bit of havoc in the back lines. Has to be careful. The boss has gone down. The barrel is pushing people away from it. There goes the Fire Breath, trying to deal as much damage to the Scar. The Maw goes down, capturing 3 members. How much damage can they deal, though? Ice Block being popped by Hasuops. Ice Block being lost by Curson. Finally, once the Ice Block drops, Jaina has fallen. Billy falls as well. No members from Next die. The boss is in Wellmet's favor, though, so that is a nice little victory, but losing 2 members. This match is so even right now. Look at the experience.
It will slightly favor Well Met for a little bit longer because of this boss. I mean, if this boss can even take a tower as well, but because everybody's now in the one lane, whereas we got, now the split soak coming out with Sake into the bottom, we're also now going to get these bruisers. We will stay slightly more ahead here for Well Met, but still, level 13 was achieved from both sides. That was very important for the last fight. And again, 3-man Moss. Sir Volt has been on point with a lot of these Moss. Unfortunately, there was just no follow-up for it that time, and that is why they did drop that fight. They also had to use the barrel very defensively to keep that golem cap clear, and it wasn't really used to split them up. So if you can't get rid of those double support, you're not really going to be winning these fights.
Definitely getting rid of the supports is also just a feat in and of itself. Malfurion having that ice block to give him that extra little bit of survivability and hold that thought. Sake getting in there to steal the bruisers from Nex. Very well played by that. Well met, taking them and retreating away. Just great denial. 2 sets of bruisers now pushing down the mid lane. They will be easily cleared up, but well met, just making their presence known on the map. Look at it, it's covered in blue. Everything is blue.
Well, I mean, they didn't really get a huge amount of push out of it, but that's okay, because look at this. ETF on top, into the bottom lane, he's by himself. Sake is doing split the body blocks. Here goes the silence arrow on top of it as well, and the water elemental. They wanted to get rid of Diablo. They were banking on the fact he did not have his souls, and now they see that he does not. This is going to lead us into a very strong push on a 5v4 scenario. We still have Maw, we still have Beryl, and Sylvanas working away at disabling this keep. It is going to drop. That is a huge detriment towards Next.
There's the next tribute spawning. Next wants to get there, but with Diablo down, Wilmet has a huge advantage just to run over there and take it. A really nice denial here, taking the Giant. So if Next decides to try and fight at the tribute, they'll have Giants pushing down in the bot lane. You can see Bims wanting to try and go for it, but the Zagara creep tumors all over, giving vision. They know exactly where they are. Victus face checking, running right into Sake. He's just drinking though. Hasuops will capture that without any issues, and Wellmet is just gonna go for the disengage. So close to level 16.
I think Bims was far enough in front in order to grab it, but they didn't have vision. They had no idea where Wellmet was, whereas, as he said, all those creep tumors, it makes you nervous. Like, oh god, they see me. Oh god, are they around this corner? Are they in this bush? Oh god. And Bims, he didn't have the confidence. And I mean, rightly so. You do want to stick with the team. You do not want to give away free kills, especially as time goes on, because those death timers are brutal. But at the same time, I really do think he could have actually picked it up.
Wow, look at Wilmet right now, taking a look at their talents. Cold Embrace, some more vulnerability. Critterize, more vulnerability. Northern Exposure, more vulnerability. And then you got the pressure point, of course, coming from Chen. Tons of amplified damage right now on the side of Wilmet.
Now, the amps damages don't stack, but they are able to stagger them, and that is a terrifying prospect, especially for Diablo, who's going to get barreled all the way out from his team. A good Maw going down, catches 2 here from Next, but at the same time, even they don't have their frontliner, he does have the souls. He will be back in 5 seconds. Will the team still be here? The Tranquility and the Healing Ward are keeping them very, very healthy, but Escape is still dropping a little bit lower. Bim's already popping out that first aid. Here comes the Diablo now. The tribute has already been taken. ETF, however, is going to get into the back here. Sake is in the front. He's just going to jump away, and they will pick up Zagara. Can they get Sport Billy? He blinks away with the blink heal, and those Odin shots are long, but just not long enough. Barrel Lunge going to come in. We got the vision here. Once more, blink heal to the front. Sake is going to be the pickup. He just cannot jump over his own wall like that, but still, to trade. They did get the Diablo. His souls are down, and the tribute did go into the pocket of Well Met. So it's not the end of the world here. But if they continue fighting, I do fear for Well Met.
Yeah, the poke from Well Met right now is doing pretty well. You see Kirsten trying to back, and instead decides to engage Sport Billy, baiting it out a little bit. Has to be careful though. I mean, that's the entire team of Next, but they did delay Next long enough that the next tribute has spawned, and the entire team of Next is rather low. You can see them all healing back up. Malfurion and Diablo both backing. The heals, though, on Tychus and Vala slightly behind. They're trying to get there in time. Hasselhoff's popping his ult. They know that Bims and Escape are there alone, trying to deal as much damage as possible. Bims taking out the Water Elemental. Healing Ward in that push for Escape is quickly taken out. Hasselhoff's trying to capture it. No, ETF charges in and delays it a little bit longer. Roots going down. Now they're just waiting for the Chen to get in there, and he's going to try and probably pop off a barrel roll here.
Well, Hasselhoff, I mean, he originally went for that cap, and we had the polymorph ready to go. I'm curious to see if that would have actually netted us that kill, but here's the barrel. It's going to try to keep that Rhaegar out, but we already got the Ancestral. Here's the Devouring Maw there as well. Caught 1 in it. No, actually caught no in it. Diablo's already dead by that time. The Odin into the back. Could this be too little too late? They're really going to jump on top of Shadowmare, but he just gets away with the Banshee teleport. Sake's still in the front line. He is not taking any kind of big damage. Could he be jumping on top of Bims? They're looking now for Kirsten. Kirsten is going to be low with that ice block, and it's just enough to take him down. Sake even gets that shot on top of Tychus, and the only one to be getting out of this one is Escape. Actually, I lied. Victus is still alive and kicking, but that is the curse to Hasselhoff, despite the fact they did not do so well in that previous fight.
That Ancestral just barely missed, I believe, on Diablo, and they were able to get that kill. Long res timers right now for Next, and this boss easily going to be taken by Well Met. They'll probably go down for their own boss as well. You can see the low mana on Servolt and Shadowmare. Sorry. And it looks like they still want to try and apply pressure. I mean, you do have the curse. You want to try and get as much as they can. 2 members still down for Next. Nice pickup.
There you go.
There we go. There, now they get it.
That's 2
nice
keeps
pickup.
now, Mr. J.
That's 2 keeps. A full boss coming down on that top lane. Easily taking out these turrets. They will... It'll be close. I think they can take it out before it takes out the keep, but it's still going to be a lot of damage on that keep that cannot be regenerated. And I mean, you already have 2 keeps put or taken out. You look at the bot lane, there's Catapult just slowly trying to work its way on the shield. Not only that, you have another boss that will be coming down to that bot lane. So tons of pressure right now from Well Met. Probably trying to find that.
Oh, they're going to delay it.
Out.
Oh, they're going to delay it.
Let the curse.
Not as much as I was expecting. Because they were waiting for Shadowmare.
Yeah.
They needed Shadowmare
Yeah.
for this push. They're going to go for the throat. Diablo should not have souls. If they can get him down with these vulnerabilities, he will be out, and that is going to be game because he is the only front liner. I'm rather impressed that they were able to actually do him out before that Ancestral was able to hit last round. But if they can do it again, they're going to try right here. Sake has a really good opportunity to get into that back with the barrel, but there goes the Devouring Maw. Ice block there for Kirsten as well. Sake is now into the back, and the barrel is good. That is a dead Vala. That is a dead Diablo. The Ancestral does not hit, and this is going to be the death march because the Golem is already on core, and Sake and crew should be able to march down and go for the win.
That was a huge kill on Diablo and Vala. The barrel not being able to push Bims away, but it didn't matter. He was able to push the Vala and the Diablo away. Tychus ends up falling down at the very end of it all. This is the death push for Well Met. They look to be going on to the finals for FaZe Fnatic.
It's definitely a possibility, and there it is. Definitely a possibility means that it's totally a possibility. 100%, man. The double heal comp just